Welcome to the Fuel Podcast, where we explore the foundations under extraordinary lives.
The Fuel Podcast is sponsored by the Christopher Swartz team at First Choice Mortgage Advisors. NMLS ID 106583. If you're looking to purchase or refinance your mortgage, make the Christopher Swartz team at First Choice Mortgage your first choice.
And now, here is your host, Chris Swartz.
What's up, everybody? It's Chris Swartz, your host of Fuel, and I am here today with our guest, Bill McCafferty. Bill, how are you, man?
Doing great, Chris. Glad you invited me on. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bill comes to us from People's Choice Mortgage.
People's Mortgage Relief 2.
People's Mortgage Relief 2. It's a tongue twister, but I got it. People's Mortgage Relief 2, and your role there right now is an asset manager, right?
That is correct. I'm an asset manager, and what People's Mortgage Relief 2 does, we manage non-performing second mortgages, and we also manage non-performing first mortgages for different note investors throughout the country. So, you know, the title that I use is asset manager. It's kind of a fancy title, and,
Right,
looks professional.
Nice. Got to have the fancy title. So awesome, man. Well, thanks again for joining us today. And, most importantly, Bill's also husband and father to two, I guess, not so little ones, right? We're just talking about that.
It happens quick, man. Yep, I have a son who's 16, and I have a daughter who's 14. Been married 20 years, and, that's what it's all about at the end of the day right there.
Yeah, nice. And, part of what we do, and really what we do here on Fuel, is to talk about, with people that kind of, what their fuel is and what drives them. And you and I were just talking a little bit before this, and one of the awesome things about, working for yourself and being, kind of marching to the beat of your own drum, so to speak, is, you get to drive. We just said, hey, I drive my daughter to the bus stop, and even though she could get there, you get to do that, and that's one of the awesome things that in life when you're self-employed, right?
Absolutely. That's one of the best things about being an entrepreneur, working for yourself. It's not all sunshine, but the best things is being around your loved ones. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I enjoy most. I mean, we work a lot of hours, a lot of goofy hours sometimes, but there's also that flexibility where you can do things like that. So, we'll just dive right into it, man. And we're already kind of talking a little bit, I'm sure, what your fuel is. As part of your fuel would be your family and your kids and everything. So, you and I go back a little bit, so we have some history. Haven't seen each other in quite some time, but I've been following along with what you're doing. And I just wanted to have you on here, man. You're putting out good stuff. I know you got a lot going on in your business. You got the YouTube channel, the course, all kinds of things going on. So we're gonna put all that aside, though, and we're gonna dig into Bill and who you are and what makes you tick, man. You ready?
Absolutely, man.
All right, cool, man. So I'm just gonna throw it out there, man. What's your fuel? What's something that really?
It's what we just talked about. I have a wife, 20 years of marriage, 2 kids, and at the end of the day, it's all about them. I do everything that I need to do to take care of them. Every day you get up, you feel sorry for yourself. You just need to remind yourself what your why is and why you're doing this. There's definitely the fear factor of failing. There's the fear factor of this thing not working. There's the fear factor of not being able to take care of your family. There's the fear factor of, going back to a 9-to-5 job, which I did for over 15 years. So it's all that fear that you just turn into fuel every day. And any day that you get up and you feel sorry for yourself or you don't want to do it, you remember your why and you take all those fears and it's what fuels you. Clearly as an entrepreneur, you like all the opportunity. You like all the challenges that come about it every day. But at the end of the day, it's the fuel is your why. Right? What are you doing this for? How are you going to do it? And why are you doing it?
Yeah.
And what we just talked about, I got a 16 and a 14-year-old. I want them to have a decent life. I want them to have nice things. You know, I want them to understand what goes on to get those nice things.
Sure.
And, but that's, you know, that's what it's about right there, man.
Yeah. And that's, you know, for I also, you know, I have 2 little girls, a wife. It definitely, you know, becomes your fuel as you know, there's all kinds of things that we talk about fuel. And, you know, I kind of, in some episodes that I've done before, talk about, you know, fuel in the early stages and kind of before you get to that phase. Like, there's all these things that happen in life that you just, you know, so you just kind of store them up as like little nuggets, and that, you know, is what drives you. It's what makes you who you are. And, you know, you just kind of talked about, you know, 15 years in, you know, the 9 to 5, right? So what was that like, dude? What did you get out of that? What did you do? What was that transition like?
Absolutely. I mean, I worked at a school, took care of athletic facilities for over 15 years. You know, great job. You know, I would never change it in the world. You know, it kind of laid down who Bill McCafferty was. You know, I learned how to deal with and interact with, you know, kids that were in, you know, high school level all the way up to, you know, people in their 60s, everybody in between. It laid the foundation for who I was, but it also fueled me to realize, you know, it was kind of, you know, when I met you back, I think we met back in 2007 at a local real estate event down in Delaware County.
Yep.
You know, about 2 years before that, you know, I hit a wall in life. Like, if this is all life was about, you know, I was fooled by everybody. You know, not that I failed, but, you know, working 50 hours a week, you know, not really being home. You know, the wife was working as a school teacher 50 hours a week, and we're giving everybody else all our energy. And when we get home, we got no energy for the kids. We have no energy for each other. And it just started digging and digging inside me. And I knew I had to figure something out. And that's when I started going to a lot of local real estate groups. You know, like a lot of people, I saw one of those late night infomercials about real estate, buying real estate with no money down.
Nice.
And you know, I just wanted
they're great, aren't they?
Yeah, they're great. You know what I mean? And, you know, we laugh about it, but it's definitely what sparked the interest.
Yeah.
And it's what got me out, trying to figure it out, finding the right people, finding out people that were actually, you know, making money, and, you know, finding the people that were really doing real estate full time.
Yeah.
And, you know, as I started going down that wormhole, that rabbit hole of real estate, and really starting to meet real people that were doing it, it's kind of what fueled everything.
Yeah. Nice. And I remember at that time, you had a couple of rental properties, and you were going through it, right? It wasn't the dream. It wasn't that TV infomercial. I remember you were having some challenges with some of your rentals and different things at that time. And
absolutely. I mean, at one time I owned 15 properties. I only own one rental, and my primary residence right now. I got caught up in the height of the market and the real estate market crash.
Yep.
Did all kinds of stuff. You know, just like everything I do in life, I don't go at it slow. I go full tilt, all in all the time.
Yeah.
You know, that's just who I am. It's what I'm about. So it's like you said. I mean, I started buying rentals, got involved in some rehabs, got involved in some subdivision stuff, bought some houses down in Texas that ended up getting hit by a hurricane, like a lot of crazy stuff. So, you know, my first 5 years at this thing, you know, there's a lot of there was a lot of failures.
Right.
There was a lot of mistakes. You know, met some of the wrong people.
Yep.
But it's all what laid the foundation and, you know, allowed me to figure it out and gave me the fuel to, you know, kind of land where I'm at today.
Yeah, and that's, you know, I always hear, you know, one of the guys I'm connected with, John Dempsey. He's a coach, and he does this thing on Fridays, you know, called Fail Forward, and I love the concept of that, right? Because you just, I mean, you know, maybe if you're like, you know, one in, I don't know, a million, you just kind of jump into business and just start rolling and don't get your ass kicked, right? But for most of us, you know, it's a lot of, you know, it's just the school of hard knocks, right? Like, it just, you get kicked around, you learn some things, you deal with some good people, you deal with some not so good people, and you just learn from it and you develop, and then you come to this point where, you know, if you're fortunate enough and you know, worked with the right people and made the right decisions, you are, and the market has been cooperative.
Yeah, absolutely.
A
lot of factors.
And Mother Nature has been cooperative, and doesn't wipe your real estate portfolio out. Then you can look to people, and you're quote unquote successful, right? And it's amazing how like everybody just sees and wants to gravitate towards you and ask questions like, hey, Bill, how do I get involved in working with non-performing second mortgages? And just like you can just jump in and like automatically you just figure it out. And, people don't appreciate, I don't think, that the struggle that went into, you being able to coach someone, teach a course, and put this content out there, because there's so much that goes into it as an entrepreneur where you just fail and it just doesn't work, right? So
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I always say there's two true ways to success: through mentors and through mistakes.
Yeah. And
we all know what mentors do, and we all have them at some level, some degree. We have numerous ones. But mistakes, I mean, that's what it's about. You're going to make mistakes. You need to learn from them. And, hey, you're going to make the same mistake a few times sometimes, but you just need to learn from it.
Yep.
You need to dig deep and figure it out.
Yeah.
It's definitely the truth. It's what you said. I don't know many people that have built successful businesses or are successful entrepreneurs and have never failed.
Yeah, it's very rare.
And if they're
out there, go for you.
Exactly. I'm not too sure, but yep, good for you. Absolutely, brother.
So yeah, and that's what inspired me to come up with this podcast, Fuel, because I love hearing people's stories. I love meeting with people, and on the surface, I talk about this a lot here, is by the time you get to Fuel, right? By the time we are able to sit here and do this, and people actually care to listen to us, we're doing okay, right? Like we've done some things to put ourselves here, and it's great. So I get to sit around people who most people look at and just say, "Oh, there's Bill. He's killing it. He does these non-performing seconds. He's making all this money. He's living the dream." And so many people that I get to sit with, that people just view them as, oh, there's that successful real estate agent. There's that successful so-and-so. And, like, that's all they associate them with. And I love to hear the story behind that. And that's my fuel. Like, that's why I started this, because, dude, the stories are where it's at. Like, that's what really, excites me. And I want to share that with people so that when they're listening or watching this, on the website, they can think, oh, wow, it doesn't just happen. Or, most people get that, I hope, right? You don't expect to start a business and just be, successful overnight. But to really hear those stories, and maybe somebody picks up on a little nugget, oh, that happened to me. You know what? I'm just going to keep pushing forward. And that's really what it's about, is that, if we can help, through every episode and through this platform, just one person is listening to this and says, you know what, man, I'm having a rough time in my business or in my marriage or in my, relationship with my kids, anything. And just realize that, you just got to, plow forward, man. Tomorrow's another day.
Absolutely. It's, I went to college. I graduated with a sociology, criminal justice degree.
Yeah.
The school that I was at taking care of athletic fields was for court-committed kids.
Okay.
So, I'm in this thing for, well over 15 years before I shifted gears.
Yeah.
And try to figure this thing out. So, taking care of athletic fields to managing, non-performing mortgage notes nationwide, it's a big change. There's a big gap there. There was a lot of soul searching. There was a lot of, what you just talked about, putting yourself around the right people and, trying to figure this thing out.
Yeah.
Nothing easy about it.
Yeah. And that's so key, man. Just putting yourself around the right people. I mean, for anybody listening, if you want to level up your game and you want to, just take some of the struggle out of the process, just find the right people. Because there are people that are doing what you want to do, that you're passionate about, that will be willing to share their experience, coach you, guide you along the way. And man, it will save you a lot of time, money, and a lot of pain.
And it's one of the toughest things is that true soul searching, because some of the negative influencers are right around you, your family, people that you grew up with, people that you associate with. And it's
hard
it's real tough.
Disassociate with
absolutely.
some of those people, especially when they're family, right?
And you may still be friendly with them, or they may still be your family, but at the end of the day, they're not bringing any value. They're not adding anything to your life to put you to where you need to go. It's I always say, you really do some true soul searching as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
To put yourself around the right people.
Yeah, and once you do that, it's amazing. And been one of the biggest game changers in my life is just putting myself around the right people, that just, help you out, pick you up when you fall down, and are just there to, really kick you in the ass sometimes when you need it, because it's not all, we all have people in our lives that, like no matter what you could do, right? Like mom, dad, whatever. It's like, oh yeah, great job. You could, be doing nothing. And it's like, you always have those supporters, whoever they are, but sometimes you need some tough love, right? Somebody that's going to tell you, dude, come on, man, like let's go. And, that's, as you made that shift from, the 9 to 5, taking care of athletic fields to, taking on this asset manager role, how did you handle that, like, fear? And especially at that time when you made the transition, you had real little kids, right?
Yeah, it was a big change. It all started on the home front with the wife, the wife being very supportive, always being behind me. Because early on, like we talked about, it wasn't pretty a lot of times. There was times, I came home continuously. Well, this is what happened. And it wasn't all good stuff.
Right.
But it was the support. She saw the determination. And, as we talk about at my house, we're a team. It's a team effort.
Yeah.
The kids actually joke around with the wife a little bit now about her not working.
Yeah.
And, busting chops a little bit. But they had no idea that, she worked for 18 years. And, we did this thing as a team to put everybody in a good spot.
Yep.
And now she's home with the kids. And she's allowing me to do everything that I need to do, so there's no baggage behind me, and I can fully concentrate on the business. I can do these podcasts.
Yeah.
I can go to meetings at night. I can travel on the weekends. It's not frowned upon. And if somebody's working 50 hours a week, might not get that support.
Yeah. No, that's one of the other. That had to be a huge, win for you guys as a team, right? To be able to, not only leave your 9 to 5, but, now you're in a position where the income that you're generating from this business has allowed your wife to leave her 9 to 5 and really focus on the most important thing, right? Making sure that the family's taken care of.
It's huge. It's, talking about what fuels you. That's fuel every day. She was working 50 hours a week at a school. She'd come home depleted, dealing with the administration, dealing with the kids, the parents. Yeah. And my kids weren't getting that effort. And I'm just like, she's giving other people 50 hours a week effort. And, it wasn't she didn't want to. She was just depleted when she got home. She was tired. She was frustrated.
Yeah.
I fed off that for years, that I need to make this happen.
Yeah.
And, absolutely. I take a lot of pride in that, and I feed off that every day right now. that's part of the fuel, part of the fear. I don't want her to go back to work. Yeah. I don't want this thing to fail.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm in a similar position. My wife was able to step away from her full-time career, with a big corporate company. It was, great job, but it was really demanding. Long hours. She was, a revenue accountant for a global company. And, once it was quarter end, month end, whatever it was, she was just, to get those numbers closed out, man, it was like 12, 13, 15-hour days. And, and then you throw in me being an entrepreneur. There's no end to my day, right? It's not 9 to 5 and I can come home and support her and take care of the family. I'm getting phone calls. I'm getting email. I'm trying to manage, basically a 24/7 business. I mean, it's crazy. So, we made a decision once we went out and started the company to say, hey, you know what? Why don't you just do the books for the company? You can work from home. You can do these flexible hours. And it's really low key compared to what she had. And it's been a game changer for our family. And it is something that I take pride in, and that she takes pride in, being able to, support me on the back end and make sure everything's taken care of. And like, I couldn't do what I do without that. It's just,
and I'm not speaking for you, but I'm speaking for myself, and I'm sure you'll probably just chuckle and laugh too. We're not easy to deal with.
Yeah, no,
we're not easy, man. Like,
no, I mean,
they love us and they're there for support, but we're not easy.
Dude.
There's days that are tough, man, and there's no one better to go talk to than your significant other.
Sometimes I feel bad for myself. I'm like,
absolutely.
I wish I could just not talk about this.
No, absolutely, and it's from my end, my office is in my house, and one of the toughest things to do is to separate that, keep the business out of the house. As much as it's, the business that takes care of the whole family, you got to try to leave some of that stuff out.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
It's a balance.
Yep. So, well, cool, man, dude. You got a lot going on, and how much just right now are you managing? What do you guys have under management?
For the clients, I manage about right now it's around 115 non-performing loans.
115 non-performing loans.
Yeah, and they're throughout the country.
Okay.
Majority of them are non-performing seconds, but there are some non-performing first in there.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's about a little over 25 clients that own those 115 non-performing loans.
Okay. Nice. So you're really, and I guess that comes part of into that sociology degree, right? You deal with a lot of different dynamics, and you got to be able to manage and have some empathy, right? You're dealing with people's lives.
Like I said, I wouldn't change anything. I think where I'm at today, everything that I encountered and dealt with, all laid apart in the success at this thing.
Nice. That's awesome, man. Well, Bill, it's so great to have you here and just hear your story. It's such an inspiration. And, we're going to hit you with the fun part of the interview, which is our rapid fire.
Do it up.
And we got 3 questions for you. And it goes like this. And before I start rapid fire, I always throw the disclaimer out there. We know you're going to pick your friends, your family, your loved ones. So we're not going to go there with them. So you're stuck on an island, and we're going to ask you 3 questions. You're not getting off the island. There's no chance. First question, outside of your friends, family, loved ones, of course, the people we'd bring, who would you bring with you? Someone that's had some influence in your life, somebody that make you laugh, like anybody, it doesn't matter. I'm
bringing the lead singer of a rock group, Fish, Trey Anastasio.
Nice. I think we've had that before. I think someone else is bringing him as well. So there you go. So you're just gonna jam out on the island. I like it.
That's it. Not to get sidetracked, but there's another thing that fuels me. I've seen 192 Fish shows over the last 26 years.
Dude, that's awesome. And tell me, like, from where to where? Like,
I've seen them in over 30 states, and I've only saw them out of the country once.
Okay.
But I've been seeing them probably about 10 times a year for the last 26 years, and
nice.
They're not a cheap hobby, so that fuels me too.
Yeah, right. It's not quite the old hippie days where it's cheap and just jump in the van and go. It's a little more sophisticated and expensive these days, and I'm sure being an entrepreneur helps with that flexibility and financing.
And there's a whole business side to the band too that's pretty cool. So I think a guy like that would be just great to hang out with, pick his brain, hear all his stories.
Nice, that's awesome.
That's my guy.
All right, and then secondly, what book? If you had to bring a book, what's a book that you'd like to share with our listeners that's had some influence for you?
Compound Effect.
Compound Effect. Darren Hardy.
Hardy.
Okay.
Great book, man.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's all about, the compound effect.
Yep, love it. So, all right, and then last question is food. Guilty pleasure, food you have to have. What are you bringing?
I'm a cheese guy, man.
Oh, yeah?
I love cheese, man.
All right.
That's probably why I'm not the slimmest guy. I love, I'm a cheese guy, man.
All right.
Cheese makes everything better.
Cheese makes, all right, dude. We're taping this here at the 320 Market Cafe and Media. We'll have to, and you haven't been here, so we'll have to, there's plenty out there in that case. So.
I eyed it up when I came in.
Okay, yeah, we're going to have to send you out here with some. Awesome, man. I really, love sitting down with you. If people want to learn more, what we're trying to do here in 2020 with Fuel is we're trying to give people more value out of this, because we sit down with some amazing people that could really, help change people's lives. So I'm going to ask if you have anything that you can offer our listeners that might want to, pick your brain, have an interest in what it looks like to be an asset manager for non-performing second mortgages.
Absolutely. I have multiple businesses, multiple companies. There's a lot of things going on, but I think something that, will add value is there's a free webinar that I have out there right now.
Okay.
Kind of goes over the business a little bit.
Okay.
It dips into it a little bit. I mean, I could talk about this business for hours and hours.
Sure.
So
yeah.
the webinar is an hour. It's www.notefortunes.
Okay.
So notefortunes.com.
All right. And
they can go on. They can sign up for a free webinar. They can watch it.
Okay.
At the end of the webinar, I supply them with a free note business report.
Okay.
It's got a lot of cool stuff on it. And they can set up a call with me.
Awesome.
They can, that free call, they can set up and they can ask me anything. We can talk about anything.
Okay. Nice.
So I think that would be beneficial for the audience and, your network.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate that. And definitely check that out, guys, because what it is, as Bill said earlier, he had 15 rental properties. He had, the actual sticks and bricks on the real estate side. And, managing that asset, well, I guess as a second mortgage holder, you still kind of have some interest in the sticks and bricks. But, not collecting, checks and managing rental properties, but being involved in real estate, you see all these different ways to get involved and these late night infomercials that we talked about how to buy and sell real estate. The note world is a totally different way to get involved and not have to deal with that, quote unquote, being a landlord. So definitely check that out. It's an awesome resource, really interesting side of the real estate business, and could be a game changer for you. So where else can we find you if people want to connect? I know you got the YouTube channel now, a couple other things where you're throwing some
absolutely.
stuff up.
I'm a big social media guy. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. Bill McCafferty. McCafferty's McCafferty. I have a personal page on Facebook. I have a business page on Facebook, Bill McCafferty. I have a business page on Facebook, Note Fortunes.
Okay.
Bill McCafferty's YouTube channel, putting out a lot of free content.
Nice.
I think people would enjoy.
All right, nice. And this is the Bill McCafferty. I know there might be other ones, but look for the beard.
That's it, man. It's the beard. No mustache, the beard.
Awesome. All right, well, make sure you guys connect with Bill. Thanks so much for coming on again. And for those of you listening, I hope you got something out of this. Please share it with your friends, family, tag anybody you think that this could have an impact with, and give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. We'd really appreciate it. And on that note, no pun intended, Bill, we're out.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep.